Perfect.
Welcome into Tips for Gamers, home of the brave, land of the athletic and handsome. Now, with that being said, we're going to be going over the rookie wide receivers who were just drafted in this last draft. And we're going to go over their overalls. How close do we think Madden got it? And we're just going to go over the first round receivers. We're not going to go over the other guys. If you guys want us to, let us know in the comments below. But we also want to know what you guys think about this. And we'll go over each one of these guys and tell us, do you think they got it right? Do you think that they got it wrong? So the highest overall rookie wide receiver that was drafted fourth out of all the wide receivers, he was the fourth highest drafted wide receiver, is Jameson Williams. Now, you can't really put him at a 78. You would have to put him at a 76. That's at least what we thought. We had him at a 76. And there's a reason for it. For one, there were 3 wide receivers who got drafted before him. Okay. Number 2, he was benched at Ohio State for those other 2 wide receivers that were drafted ahead of him, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. So EA is making a statement that they love Alabama so much or something. I don't know what it is, but they love them so much that they are saying that the Falcons made a mistake with drafting Drake London. They're saying that the Jets made a mistake and the Saints made a mistake. They're saying that Ohio State shouldn't have benched him. That's what they're saying. And none of it's making sense. The reason he was benched at Ohio State was not because he was terrible. It was just because of the fact that Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave were better than him. That was it. That was the only reason. I mean, and you're talking what? The guys who are the best in the country all on one team, of course one of those guys is going to get benched. They're going to bench the one that's not as good as the other guys. And I'm not saying he can't ever get better than those guys or as good as those guys. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you're making a statement right here that just doesn't make sense. You're basically telling the NFL in multiple teams and Ohio State that they have no idea what they're talking about. Oh, he went to Bama. I mean, and that's what you're saying. But then let's just double down on this. How bad is this going to be? Well, for Jameson Williams, you're going to need to do our SAR method or our SAT method in order to bring him on. There's going to be, because he's going to be very hard to trade for. Okay, very, very difficult to trade for. Now, let's look. What is EA doing here? Well, they're putting his stamina at an 80. So you just made a hot rod. You basically just made an absolute burner of a beast here who can just crush super fast. Yet he has to be next to the gas station at all times because this guy who's in the top 1% of most athletic human beings in the world cannot run 40 yards without getting winded. So EA, I just don't get your thought process. I don't understand it. You're saying he's really good, but then you're saying he's not good at the same time. If he has an 80 stamina, what are you going to do with that? That's a low stamina. That is not a great stamina for a wide receiver. It's just not good. I don't understand really what they're doing. I don't make sense of this. We had him at a 76, and we would never dare put him higher than all the other guys. We just wouldn't. And you know what? He went to Ohio State. You know, this guy was awesome to watch, still wouldn't do that. You got to think rationally instead of just with your heart. So then who do you have next? You have Chris Olave, who's a 76. I think they got this so incredibly wrong. We had him at a 79, one of the best route runners in all of college history. The guy's a beast. And, you know, there's a reason why he was ahead of Williams. There's a reason. I mean, just go watch the film. Watch how this guy operates. This guy is insane. But here you go again. Look at his stamina, 82. You're telling me that they're crapping on Williams and crapping on Olave. For what reason? I don't get it. EA, it is a lot of fun to crap on your game every year because your game sucks and no one else made it crappy besides you guys. But this is where people just start to lose people. And you can tell me all you want that we have NFL players doing our rating. Yeah, I don't care about that. If Jerry Rice came to me with this, I'd probably fire him. I'd say an 82 stamina, Jerry. What are you doing? I mean, and that's a bold statement, but you guys are making bold statements all the time. Most athletic human beings, and he's got like a defensive tackle stamina? I just don't get it. I don't know what you guys are doing. You're saying that the Falcons didn't know what they're doing. You're saying that the Jets didn't know what they're doing. The Saints didn't know what they're doing. All their scouts, all those people who get paid so much money to scout and to watch these guys day in and day out. You're saying that they don't know what they're doing. You're saying that guys on the college level didn't know what they're... I mean, guys, I think you're wrong. I just think that you're doing this incredibly incorrect. And I don't think people who know what they're talking about would agree with you. So Garrett Wilson also had a 76, and it makes me feel like because these two guys got drafted ahead of Williams and they were on the same team, that EA was like, well, we can't put them both higher. Like that's I think EA just shows here that they really don't know what they're talking about. You know, more and more you look at this, the more and more you deep dive into where their thought process was going, you start to have more questions about how they came to that thought process. Again, with the stamina here, I don't get it. You know, the most athletic human beings on the planet, and these guys can't jog a mile. Apparently, I mean, it's just, I'm not making sense of it. I'm not understanding this. We had him at a 79, lowest is a 78. That's what we had. I mean, it's just, it is not making sense to us. Not at all. So then we have the wide receiver who was drafted first, which was Drake London by the Falcons. Drafted first. And so, do we think he's the best guy? No. But we still said you cannot put him lower than a 77. You cannot. It will not make sense. You have to put him right around them of Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. You have to. You have to. Williams has to be dropped slightly beneath those guys. Has to. All right? Even if it doesn't pan out, you could say you're right, and you could be like, I'm right in the future. We already know we are. But you just can't sit there and say to that statement that all of these guys were completely wrong. The Falcons saw something in London. Okay, they saw something in this guy. And so you can't put him less than a 77. I would not disagree if you put him at a 78. Even if you put him at a 79 and put those other guys at that too, I wouldn't disagree with it. I just wouldn't disagree with it. But, you know, stamina, they just hate stamina. Like, we gotta drop these guys. They can't. I just don't get it. I think you're wrong on this one as well. 75. You know, and then we haven't even seen their actual developments either. Then we'll see how really bad they are. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys agree with this? Falcons fans, do you guys agree with this? You think he's a 75? You think that they should rank the other guys ahead of him on this? Do you think that he should at least be tied with some of those other guys? Like, you know, I don't know. It's weird. It's just strange. I can't really pin where they were going with this. So then you have Traylon Burks, who's a 73 overall. You know, decent speed. The guy was actually really fast, too. I don't think that they even got the speed correct. You know, apparently the guy has asthma or something like that. His injury and his stamina are the highest, even though there's reports out in camp that he was getting winded. And he was, I don't know. Yeah, I just think you guys have no idea what you're doing. I think this is weird. I just don't really understand where you're going with this stuff. So, yeah, with that being said, what do you guys think about this list? How far do you think EA is wrong on this? I mean, and let us know on the individual overalls that you think that these guys should be.
High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.